I'm taking notes. One of the nurses who traveled to New York during COVID.
I have this assignment for you. It's going to be $13.6K for a week.
You're a nurse entrepreneur.
Selling, pitching, cringe.
Of course I'm going to pitch. You deserve this. So what I got.
I didn't think anyone was going to buy it, honestly.
That's how we build our business.
Some people in the community, they're in their 40s, 50s.
Your vibe attracts your tribe. You had like a $100,000 day.
I settled on a $10,000 90-day program.
Everybody wants to be a boss.
Everyone should be an entrepreneur because it's ghetto.
Welcome to another episode of Full Transparency with Donnie Wiggins, where I sit down with outstanding entrepreneurs who are doing some pretty big things. And we're concerned about all those things, but we really want to know about the journey that they've taken to get to where they are. So I literally give you a fly on the wall perspective. Like, imagine we had just met somewhere and my guest and I today literally are just meeting for the first time. If I invited her to lunch and say, hey girl, I like your energy, I like your vibe, let's meet, let's connect and go have a conversation, this would be the conversation that we are having. So I want to introduce you to Lois Twum, aka Nurse Lois. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you, Donnie?
I am excited to have you here. I'm excited to have you here because you said you were excited to be here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I watched this show, so I'm very excited to like physically be here.
This is like a full circle moment.
It is definitely full circle.
Yeah. I love it. And you travel with all of your friends, y'all. If y'all could see the studio, she has her crew here, a couple of mentees, homegirl sitting over here in the corner. And I just love the clear support that you have. Community.
For sure.
Community.
Everything.
Absolutely. So I want to get started talking about what you do. You're a nurse entrepreneur.
Yes.
What does that mean?
So I am a nurse. I've been a nurse for over 6 years. My specialty is the neuro ICU. I think I overdid it a little bit with the travel nursing during COVID. So I was one of the first nurses when New York popped up. I went out there and I did it a lot. And then after a while, I got a little bit burnt out. I needed a break. And so I dabbled into something called strike nursing, which is...
Wait. You were one of the nurses who traveled to New York.
Correct.
During COVID.
Yes.
Because I guess during that time there was a shortage of staff of nurses everywhere.
Right.
And so you said, I'll do it. What makes somebody say, I'm going to go like into the heart of where COVID is all over the news? When I think about New York and just that time frame, I'm thinking about like the 18-wheelers of bodies that they had lined up for people because it was so bad there.
Right.
But you said, tag me in, coach, I'm going.
I'm ready.
Yeah, why?
You know what? At the time, there were so many of my nurse coworkers who wanted to go, but because they had kids or maybe any like underlying health issues, they were unable to go. And one thing about me, I've always been an adrenaline junkie. I always wanted to work in critical care in the ICU. Even in nursing school, I wanted to be in the ED. So when people are like scared of challenge, I'm just like, yeah, I'll go. So I didn't actually think that I could go at the time because in order to do travel nursing, you need 2 years, and I had a year and a half. But, you know, New York, everything was so... Everyone needed the nurses, so they were more like willing to relax on the 2-year mark. So I went out there, and even though it was very terrifying, it was very rewarding. I met a lot of new friends, coworkers, and even like the patients. I got really attached to some of the New York patients. So
yeah. What did you take away from that experience during COVID in New York, as you had to be like, what, 22?
Yeah, I was 22
years old.
Yeah, when I was in New York, the biggest takeaway honestly was, unfortunately, healthcare. Before New York, before travel nursing, I thought that everyone in healthcare had like the best heart, really like had a heart to serve. And I really realized in New York especially that people are just people. So I used to walk around thinking, oh, you're a doctor, you're a nurse, like you have my best interests at heart. But I think because of the workload, I saw a lot of like cutting corners, and I just really realized that, you know, just because somebody's in healthcare doesn't always mean that
they actually care. I've heard that so many times. And then obviously being a human who's been to the doctor and emergency rooms and things like, heck yeah, you see it. You see the difference between the nurses and doctors who take time to explain to you what's going on. And then you see people who are just trying to get you out because you got to turn these beds over very quickly.
Right.
So you actually have a heart for serving.
Absolutely. I was born and raised in Ghana, and actually when I was younger, I was sick. I was hospitalized. And honestly, Donnie, I couldn't tell you what exactly the nurses did for me medically, but they were there. They listened to me while my parents were at work. They were just there. So I always knew like it was the path for me. And then honestly, even being African, it's like you only got like 3 professions you're going to do. You're going to be a doctor, nursing, engineer. So it was something that I always like wanted to do.
How different are the hospitals in the United States compared to Ghana? Because I've not been to Ghana and I need to go to Ghana, right?
This year.
First of all,
December.
I'm too old to keep saying I've not been to Ghana. It's almost embarrassing to know that I at this big age, everybody's going. And it's just Ghana. You know what I mean? How when we look at it though on TV, you would think that like the hospitals there, you'd rather just stay home and treat yourself.
Right.
Is it that way? Like
it is.
Oh, it is. I
Honestly,
thought you were going to say something different.
No, it is.
Okay.
They're developing everything else but the healthcare system.
They're developing everything except for
so they're like, when I was growing up, we didn't have malls, we didn't have
this explains it. This is why I haven't been to Ghana. What am I going for? What am I going to see?
It's a vibe now. Like the hotels are giving, you know, they got a Marriott.
Giving what?
It's some parts are given luxury. But, but the hospitals is still not. Because every year I take nurses inside of our community. We take about 20, 30 nurses to Ghana, and I make it a point that we stop at the hospital so that they can really see, like, y'all have it really nice in the U.S., right? There's resources. In Ghana, it's really, like, who you know, which is sad. Like, you're going to get care based on who you know. And sometimes, like, if you want to get seen a little bit quicker, you better have some change.
So do you guys in Ghana have, like, medical insurance and life insurance and stuff like that?
All those things are newer. So now you'll see it, but like I'd say probably like 10 years ago, that was not a thing.
So for clarity, if someone needs like some medical attention, they wouldn't go, like you might go from here to Germany or here to Honduras to get some treatment. Would you go to back to Ghana to get treatment? Because I also like, sure, the hospitals aren't that great, but like it's the motherland, right? And it's like the herbs from the ground and natural healing and treatment. Is that really happening? Like we're not taking you to the hospital. We're gonna muddle up these herbs and these leaves and make an ointment to put somewhere.
For sure. Yeah, that definitely exists. But anything like any major surgery or anything, most of the patients in Ghana have to fly out.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're still a work in progress.
So you're groomed because of your birthplace to have gone into the medical industry.
For sure. My mom's a nurse too.
Your mom's a nurse. Yeah. And then in Africa, there's a strong culture of just serving.
Absolutely.
Especially for the women here. So it's natural that you came here and found this.
Absolutely.
How do your parents feel about you moving here? Is your family still in Ghana?
No, they're all still here.
Everybody's here.
Yeah, everyone's here.
So to see you grow up like this and you're traveling the world, you're nursing, like how's this been for your family?
They've been very proud, especially now that I didn't just stop at nursing and I went into entrepreneurship, creating a community, helping other nurses find their happy path in nursing. My parents are super proud. And honestly, like growing up in Ghana, everyone is an entrepreneur. Like if you just go outside, everyone's selling something, even on the road, you're just trying to get to your destination. So it's been full circle.
It sounds like Atlanta.
Yeah.
Ghana, Atlanta.
It's not a real place. They're both not real places.
It's not a real place. Everybody's outside selling something. You pull up at any red light in the city in Atlanta, you're going to get Gatorade, a t-shirt, a headband, something. So let's talk about, though, how you create a community. So do you have a nurses community?
Yes, I do.
So you're a nurse, you're traveling, you're trained for this, you're serving, but you identify a need where you have to bring people together.
Correct.
Tell me about that.
Yes. So around 2022, I did 13 different travel assignments. So Donnie, I'm talking about lived in New York, Houston, Phoenix, Atlanta, Miami, you name it. And so after a while, travel nursing, it sounds cool. And I feel like every nurse should definitely get it out of your system. But after a while, it's like every 2 months I'm moving, and it's affecting the relationships because, some of these men, they could barely do right y'all in the same city. You're talking about, every 18 weeks or 13 weeks, 8 weeks, you're moving. So I got to find that with travel nursing, yes, the money was good, but everything else in my life was suffering, right? Everything else in my life was taking a hit. So in 2022, I kind of stumbled, because it was kind of an accident. I stumbled on something called strike nursing. and it was a recruiter of mine, and she called me. She was like, hey, I have this assignment for you. It's going to be 13.6K for a week. And at that time, I was like,
$13,600
correct
salary.
Yeah,
for the week?
For the week, for 60 hours.
For 60 hours.
Yeah. And at that time, in 2022, the rates were going down because during COVID, they were paying us a lot of money. And so I was like, what kind of assignment is this? And she was being real secretive, real hush hush. So probably about a few days before the assignment started, I realized that it was a strike nurse assignment. So once I did the strike, ended up going for 2 weeks. I ended up making $30,000 in 10 days on that 2-week strike. So I went on Instagram and I was just sharing, like I wasn't an influencer or anything. I was just sharing my journey, sharing the pay stubs. And so many nurses were messaging me like, hey, what kind of assignment is this? Like, rates are down. Like some of them, they didn't even believe. And so that was the need right there because nurses had been making $5K a week, $10K a week, and during COVID, and now those rates were no longer. And
so I want to be clear. You're living your life as a career entrepreneur or as a career travel nurse.
Correct.
You get this job and you simply go on social media and talk about the job.
Yeah, because the job at that time, the rate was so high for the exact job that I was doing. But in the marketplace, all those rates had disappeared. And so naturally, when I posted it up on my story, people were messaging me like, hey, what kind of job is this?
Hey, entrepreneur, are you looking for mentorship? Do you ever watch me here on the Social Proof podcast or on Full Transparency and say, you know what? One day I want to work with Donnie. Great news. You absolutely can. Join me inside my community, Actionable CEO, where we help to develop new habits, grow you personally, professionally, and financially, help you take massive action in your business, ultimately helping you make more money. It's just $97 a month. We meet every single week. We have a book club. We do live co-working sessions. When I'm in your city, you guys get to connect with me in person and so much more. Don't take my word for it. Go over to actionableceo.com. Check out the page and see if it's a good fit for you. If so, I'll see you on the inside. Why'd you post it though?
Because honestly, I had never heard of any nurse making $30,000 in 10 days, non-COVID, like crisis.
So it was kind of like y'all,
this
girl,
is out here.
Have a seat. Y'all better go and get your nursing degrees right now.
Yes.
Is it like really to inspire? Like you didn't know, you weren't doing it strategically at that time, were you?
No.
So you're just living your life.
Yeah, I was just living. And then when I did the strike assignment, a lot of the nurses there, they always do strike assignments. So they're like, oh, you just got here. Like, girl, this is a whole new like tier of nursing. And I just couldn't believe that nobody had ever like talked about it.
Yeah.
Now, granted, Donnie, strikes are very political. This is what I didn't know when I did the assignment. Like,
does that actually mean like when nurses go on strike?
Yes.
Oh, you one of them.
Yeah,
you one of them. No, I'm just
playing. That's
so
how they feel, though.
But that's how they feel.
Me.
So they're outside and they're
protesting, and it's very serious.
And you walking into work with your cute little scrubs on, like, morning, y'all. Anybody want some coffee? Anybody need anything? I'll bring you something back.
Yeah,
that's you.
So we're pulling up on the bus, and they're literally outside, and they.
But you have no allegiance to these nurses. You're coming from a whole other state.
That's where it gets political, like. They hate us. They hate me.
Y'all. But it's $30,000 in 10 days. What is a girl supposed to do?
I mean. Okay. And then the thing about it, Donnie, is like and the nurses who are protesting, like, I'm for them. Like, they might be protesting about more money, maybe safer ratios. Like, we're with them. Yeah. However, it's like, this is not, I think right now this week, like the trucking industry, somebody's on strike. Somebody's always on strike. But the hospital, like, this is not that. Like, is somebody not supposed to have a nurse?
People are still dying.
Yeah.
Fighting for their lives. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, so go through. And it's funny because when you're pulling up on the bus, they're like, it depends on the strike location. They might be like throwing stuff at the bus. But
no way.
Yeah, they hate us. Yeah. So I came back after the strike. During the strike, you're not supposed to post. So it's real like hush hush. Because the strike is like on the news and stuff, on the local news. Like I'm walking into patients' room and they're watching like, oh, yeah. Okay. So after the strike, I posted the pay stub, not really to my reasoning behind posting the pay stub is that I wanted people to see like this was for real. Like it's not just, oh, I made 30K in 10 days. Like, let me show you. And then my DMs were flooded. Like I didn't even have probably like 6,000 followers. I was, regular schmegler Instagram girl. People were screenshotting it, sending it to their friends. And this is 2022, so the rates were down. Okay. So people were like, where can I find these assignments? Like some people, they don't care about the politics. Like, girl, plug me in. And then the guy that I was dating at the time, he's an entrepreneur. He does sports betting. So he was like, I was going live. I was in the DM answering questions. He
just
was
giving it away for free.
Just giving it away.
Yeah, girls, y'all meet me on Instagram
Live. That was
You need a job? Let me be your HR.
I was giving them phone numbers, like everything. And he was like, what are you doing?
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I wasn't tapped into entrepreneurship. So most nurses aren't like.
But that really was a good thing.
Yeah.
A lot of us who do well in the space of building community, these are things that we did and could do for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So the guy that you're dating.
Yeah, was dating.
Yeah.
He was like, what are you doing on IG Live? Like giving all this tea. You need to start. He told me about creating a group chat. So at this point, I didn't know community was like a thing. Yeah. And so I was like, my first digital product was actually coaching calls. So I would go on IG Live for hours, giving game, and then people would be trying to see when's the next IG Live. So I introduced like, get on the phone with me, 30 minutes. I'll give you the agencies, the direct phone numbers, blah, blah, blah. And Donnie, I was doing like 7-8 calls a day.
And how much were you charging?
I was charging $100 for 30 minutes. And I thought that was high.
Okay.
I thought I was kind of taxing.
Okay.
Yeah, but they were booking, These nurses had been making $10K a week for so long. So now they're like, oh, like even though COVID is gone, the rates are gone, there's still another way for me to kind of like keep the same lifestyle I was living. So started off with coaching calls, and then I was doing like 7-8 calls a day, and I was just like, I'm saying the same thing, So after a while, I did it for maybe like 2 months, 6 weeks, 2 months straight, and then I was like, it's time to put them in a group chat, right? Because strikes, one thing I will say, they're not predictable. So it's not something that's like consistent. It's nothing to where you want to like drop your full-time job to do strike nursing.
Okay.
So people would book the call, and then they'll be like, what about the strike next month? Do I got to book another call? So I was like, all right, let's just put all these people in like a group chat. So everyone who had already paid for the call, they were automatically in this group chat.
What platform did you use?
For the group chat, at first it was a text message thread.
With your real phone number?
All my coaching calls are with my phone number.
Not with your real phone number. I don't have an entrepreneurial experience whatsoever.
Nothing.
Okay,
they all had my number.
You making it do what it do. So
it did what it did.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Yeah.
Everybody got your phone number.
I had to get a second phone.
I bet.
And they be texting me still. I'm just like, no, that was 2 years ago.
Girl,
Yeah.
Boundaries. Okay, you had none 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
She's like, call me, all right? I'm not factoring in time zone.
Nothing.
I'm not factoring in what time y'all go to bed, what time you wake up. Okay.
And I was sending reminders on my phone the night before. I was just trying to make it do what it do. Hey,
just trying to be helpful.
I can't wait to talk to you tomorrow. And I would set alarms. I was just out here.
I mean, you were doing what you had to do, though.
Right.
And this is a word for you guys who are watching this. Like, notice how you were just literally living your life.
Literally.
Taking what she did in her career and turned it into a business. But you didn't have to know all the steps.
Right.
You didn't have to know that this was going to be a community that you would put on some big
No
platform.
idea.
You're just like figuring it out as you go.
Thread, like,
I need to talk to people in a group. I got a group
right.
text. I'm going to put them in a group text. All right. So not only are you giving your number out, but everybody else just has each other's
Everybody
number.
else.
Nope.
No
Privacy.
problem.
What we need privacy for? Ain't nobody signing an NDA in here.
Nobody.
Okay.
I couldn't even tell you what that meant.
All right.
At that time.
So we're in the group thread.
Yeah.
And what happens now?
So at this point, I had did probably like 80 or 90 one-on-one. So we had the group chat started getting too big. So I knew I needed to move platforms. So I decided to move them to Telegram, which is a free app where we house the community. And at that point, I was like, all right, when we hit 100 people in this community, I will start selling the community by itself. It was like $40 or for lifetime access. I was just out here, child. So we hit 100 people, and then there were people who were like, oh, I don't want to do the coaching call with you. I just want to like see like when's the next strike, whatever. And it just started growing. And now we have combined, I have 2 chats, but we have over 800 nurses now. And I think because of how we started, like, we're all like close. We be linking up,
Over 800 nurses. And what do they pay?
So right now, I just switched my business model. Right now it's $27 a month. But when I finally got a coach and took business seriously.
Times 12. Okay. I like where these numbers are going.
Yeah. It's going great.
I like where these numbers are going for you. This is a really nice monthly recurring revenue, you guys.
It's not bad.
And I want people to understand that it doesn't take rocket science.
It doesn't.
To build a community.
It doesn't.
You literally just start with the tools that you have.
Absolutely.
The key is finding people who want to have the same conversation.
Absolutely.
In your case, it was nurses who want to have access to like these job boards and where people are posting the higher paying jobs.
Absolutely.
Is that still what you're doing today?
Still.
So we've got like hurricanes and stuff that are happening around us all over.
There's hurricane relief nurses right now. So like even in the community, we're posting. It started off as just strikes. And then we grew. So now we talk about PRN nursing, which is a PRN nurse is pretty much a nurse who can work once a week. So this could be locally in your city. Not every nurse wants to like fly to do an assignment.
Yeah.
So there's PRN nursing. There's regular travel nursing for the nurses who are still in that. They want to see the USA, all that vibe. We have strike nursing. So now it started off with strike nursing, but it's grown, it's developed. I've hired nurses who are like PRN queens. So I have some nurse admins who are a little bit better than I am in certain tiers. And yeah, we're posting hurricane jobs, strike jobs, travel jobs.
I love to see you under 30, in your 20s, serving, delivering value in a way that's helping other people to acquire abundance and the opportunities that they're looking for.
Absolutely.
But I love to see that as a result of that, you are also living your life in a very abundant way. Congratulations on that. Like, no, seriously, that's really dope. I think what's happening right now in the space of entrepreneurship, especially because we have access to everybody on social media, you were pretty much born into social media, right? Or grew up in it at least. And that's just not how it happened, like when I was growing up. And to now have all of this evidence of people, there should be no such thing anymore of, I don't know if I can do it. No, you're just choosing not to do it, because we have the Loises of the world who say, look, you can literally take your job and monetize it off the clock.
Absolutely.
I did the same thing.
Did you?
Yes. I worked in property management for about 13 years.
Okay.
And the last property that I worked for, I was literally leasing condominiums to people who in a building where I couldn't afford the rent just based off my salary.
Got you.
So what would happen was we get these high profile people and they were really coming to interview us. Like, is there enough security? Is there enough privacy? Are there these things? And if it wasn't, I knew what our competitor properties were. So I'd be like, oh, go over to such and such property in CK. I'll tell her to expect you, right? And that sister property would literally send you like a $100 gift card if they decided to lease.
Got you.
But the money that you could make, which is a couple $1,000s in commission, if they leased, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to refer directly to the leasing office anymore for this $100,000. I am now going to represent you. So I literally took my job just like you and turned it into a business. I then owned my own luxury property management company where I housed high profile and high performing individuals who needed privacy.
Wow.
Yes. And so here's the thing. How do you feel when people just say, I'm just doing what I can right now?
I feel like in 2024, there's literally no excuse. Everyone got a free class. And I think social media, like one of the big things I would say, even me getting here, if I never posted, if I didn't leverage the Instagram story, IG live, I wouldn't even know that there was a demand. Like people even want to hear me. So a lot of times, like I have people in the community, mentees, they're like, I don't want to post. I don't want to, it's not for me. Like that's a you thing. And it's just like, that's how my business was created.
Yeah.
If I didn't go and share it with people, I would never know that, people want to know this stuff. So there's just no excuse. In 2024, we are in a digital space. You just pick the platform or do all the platforms. But I feel like sometimes even if you don't have your stuff ready to go, just show up with what you have and your people, they'll find you and they will tell you what they need. People are asking me like, Like, I don't want to do the call. Like, is there like a chat? I'm like, okay, I can create a chat.
Well, we got a chat.
Right.
They don't want to do calls. More than 5 of them
Right.
have mentioned this chat thing. Let's create a chat. That's the play right there.
Yeah.
And I hate that word. I hate that I even said that, the play.
Run the play.
That is actually a key right there. People get so stuck as entrepreneurs sometimes trying to figure out like the perfect thing to start. You're not even listening. You don't even ask, right? I love to ask my audience, like, how would you prefer to receive this information? If you could choose between this and this, like a call or a chat, what would that look like?
Absolutely.
And then you go and you create the stuff that people tell you they need.
And then even for me, it's like, I don't want to do 8 calls a day. So I was like, I'm saying the same thing on these calls. That could be a course, right? What are the questions that people are always asking me? That's module 1, module 2. Like, people complicate. And it's just like, the course is really the ebook. The outline for the course was the ebook. So if you're stuck, what do people always ask you? That's chapter 1 in the ebook. And just create those products. But I had no idea, honestly, that it would grow. And we're like a really tight knit community. We're always getting together. Last month we were in Colombia. We're always taking a trip. And I think one thing that people sleep on with community is
Colombia, or up the street, Colombia. Oh,
Cartagena.
She said, girl, you need a passport. This ain't South Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because nurses love to travel, so naturally. They love a trip.
Okay.
They love outside.
How do you build your community and you build this kind of culture within it to where they're interested in traveling with you? Ooh. So I have a community for entrepreneurs,
Actionable
right?
CEO.
Actionable CEO.
I know you, Donnie.
Okay. Look at you doing your research, girl. Okay, so I have a community and we're about 1.5 years old. Okay. And I want to take my first trip with the community in March.
You should.
Yeah, but not that I don't believe people would come. I believe they would. But you said we have a very close-knit community.
Yeah, we're cool.
How do you create that culture where you put the trip out there and everybody wants to come?
That's a good question. I believe in community building to make things exclusive for the community. So, like, you can't go on a trip with me unless you're in the community. There is no Cartagena with Lois. Outside of the community. So it makes them feel very exclusive. And then in the master classes I teach, but I offer like they can ask questions, or I have some of the mentees sometimes they teach. Like I have a mentee, her name is Lovely. She's like the PR and nurse queen.
Oh, I'm doing that. Hold please. Let me write that down. Okay, coach, put me in the game. Listen. Coach. I like it. So I'm going to have Actionable CEO. If y'all are watching this, get your teacher's hat on because somebody is going to teach next month inside of the community. Hold please, because you said you're really writing it down. Mentees teach. I don't play no games.
Yeah, you're not playing.
I am coachable. Listen, okay, let my mentees teach. I'm going to do that.
The ones that have something to teach, obviously.
So many of them
we're not just handing it out.
So many of them do. So, yes, and if you read, what's the book? Power of Community that we just finished reading last month. Okay. That's literally one of the things that author talks about in the book is giving a voice to your community members and teaching. And so when you said that, it's like, you said when you read in the book last month that you were going to do that. And I still here we are the next month, and I still hadn't done that. And I got 28-year-old Lois sitting over here and was like, Coach, you girl, put the people in the game, period. And that's what we're doing.
Yeah, have them teach.
For sure.
The community, my goal for it's like I don't want it to feel like mine. Like y'all not here for me. It's called Highest Paid Nurse, and so
Highest Paid Nurse.
Yeah, it's called Highest Paid Nurse Community.
Is it open enrollment right now?
It's always open.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's always open. So the goal of that community is that you can't be here and not be the highest paid nurse on the unit. We're posting jobs every day. It does not stop. Midnight, job. And so the nurses feel like it's like our community, not like mine. And even my wording, like when I first started, I used to say my community, join my community. But when people feel like they're a part of something, they're more like in deep with it.
Okay, hold on. She said, because he said that in the book too, but let me just make another note. When people feel like they are. See, one of the keys to success is to take immediate action, right? You can't because y'all are watching this right now. You're laughing at me. You're watching this and you're laughing, you're entertained, but I'm telling you, I'm taking notes. you need to be taking notes too. You want to know how to build your community? Here you go. You want to know how to have people come in and they trust you. They want to be there. They want to travel. They want to invest with you even after investing in the community. You take the notes and you put it to work. Let me title my notes and give you your credit, Lois Twum. Okay?
I love it.
All right, let's get it.
So you make them feel a part of it equally. And then like in the calls, I feel like sometimes a lot of coaches, they're like talking at their audience or like, you know, I'm the expert. Like I'm open to people adding stuff. Like I don't know everything.
Yeah.
So I welcome like feedback. And then they be getting to know each other. Like it's like, okay, I'm not the Airbnb girl, but my mentee Nikita is. So whoever needs Airbnb help, y'all go hit up Nikita. So a lot of times when we get to the trip, they're already cool.
Yeah.
Like they're not even coming for me anymore. They're coming because they want to link up with so and so. Another thing is that on the trips, like depending on the vibe, I'll pitch my high ticket live in person. It's scarier. Like I'd rather pitch on Zoom, honestly. But you know, once people are like physically with you and they see your energy, oh, Donnie's so genuine, she's nice, the trust just goes through the roof.
I'm an on the stage pitcher all day.
Are
I would
you
rather
stage?
be in the room pitching to people in person than Zoom.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking you in your eyes and I see you looking back at me. So one of us got to bust a move, right?
Right.
One of us have to do something. But I am a go out into the crowd and touch you and on your shoulder. And, you know, I like the energy there.
For sure.
So, yeah, for sure. But I also get it. Like it's definitely more convenient. I saw somewhere that, in the book that I'm thinking of that we read is the series that I taught from was Power of Community. I taught community building. But the book, and you probably have read it. You sound like you've read it. Superfans.
I haven't read it, but I heard you talking about it on
Instagram.
Instagram.
Gotta read Superfans.
Okay.
It's so thorough. And I think it'll just make you even better as a community builder because you're speaking his language.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I saw somewhere that you had like a $100,000 day.
I did.
Or something. And, you know, that this is, first of all, we're a problem. All right. It's just a problem because now these $100,000 days are happening and that's somebody's goal. So I want to pre-frame. I want to pre-frame and say that Lois has been consistent in her craft for a period of years. She did not just start a business yesterday and then go out and set a goal for a $100,000 day the next day. There obviously took some development.
For sure.
Tell me about that. What does that look like?
So it was July 2023, so last year. I've done it a few times.
Okay, first of all.
But the first one.
Little light, little flex.
Not too crazy.
Nothing crazy.
The first one, you know what's really crazy about the 100K day, Donnie? We probably had like 20 people on the Zoom.
That's it. That's all you need.
Yeah, I was shocked.
Yeah, that's what you need.
I thought you needed like big numbers.
Well, and look, you're a community builder. So when you're a community builder, your vibe attracts your tribe. You are probably really good at attracting the people who need to hear your voice.
For sure.
But tell me how it happened.
Yeah, so this was my first time launching a premium value offer. I had actually just left Myron Golden's Offer Mastery conference. And I knew it was...
I took that.
Yeah, it's really good, really powerful. I knew it was time because people in the community, I was already kind of doing mentorship, you know, every single month. I would have classes twice a month. So I would always show up for them. But people wanted like more. They wanted like weekly. And then my first program, I had like a one-on-one piece to it. And so people had been asking me for mentorship. But honestly, I don't know what it was. I just felt like, you know... I don't know if I'm ready to be like a mentor. And I think sometimes even my age is being fully transparent. Like, you know, some people in the community, they're in their 40s, 50s. Like, y'all want, I'm 27.
Girl, I'm in my 40s and I took a couple of notes. Own that.
It doesn't matter.
You're smart.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no age requirement on knowing what you know.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so you're here. We got the community going.
Yeah, got the community. I knew there was a need for it. But honestly, it wasn't until I got in the room and I started like hearing like, oh, it could honestly all be so simple. So while I was at Offer Mastery, I had crafted what I thought my offer would include. And I had like 3 different tiers, whatever. And then I was like, you know, I settled on a $10,000 90-day program. In my head,
settled on.
Yeah. I had different, like, I was like, should I do 90 days, 6 months, a year? I was scared about the 90 days because I'm like, 10K for 90 days, like, it felt
Can
short.
I get the result?
Can I get, I kind of knew I could get the result. I didn't know about the 90 days. But long story short, I ended up pitching it to my community. So I only mentor people inside the community. So like sometimes it's like, it's so exclusive. It's like, you can't get more of me unless you're in the community. So I did pitch it to the community. It was kind of like a pre-pitch. I taught a class for 2 days. So I did one class and then I did the second class. And then I let them know at the end of the day 2, like, hey, anybody who wants more, you know, I'll do like a full overview tomorrow. So we had about like 20 people on the Zoom. If you don't count me, we probably had like 18 solid people on the call. And yeah, we sold 10 in a day.
Yeah. What was that your first time having a 6-figure day?
Yeah, that was my first time.
Okay.
And you know what was crazy? Some people missed that Zoom when I was doing the overview call. The 10 slots at 10K were gone like before midnight. And so people who missed it, maybe they were at work or they were sleeping from night shift, they came in the community mad. Like, this is not fair. Like, I didn't get to hear it. Like, I was like, what a problem to have.
What a problem
Not
to
y'all
have.
fighting about. It's not fair. So I'm like, what do I do now?
I bet you were disappointed when only 20 people showed up, though.
I
was it a
was.
20 people just showed up or 20 people registered?
20 people showed up.
I bet you. So, and this is important to focus on because this is full transparency. And there are people here who won't do the webinar. They won't do the challenge. They won't put the offer out there because only one person will buy.
That's
only
good.
20 people will show up.
That's good.
So, and I know people who will cancel. Only 20 people showed up. I was expecting like 200. Girl. Well, not that many people knew that I was doing it, obviously.
Yeah.
Let me cancel it because sometimes you can feel like you deserve more than that. Why aren't there hundreds of people here? You know, like the value that I bring into the marketplace. And so it's easy to cancel. 20 people show up. And you're there.
Yes. I pitched it with my mentor. His name is Damon Dillard. So,
but hold on. I know Dame. You're there and you see these 20 people. Do you have this initial feeling of like, ugh?
I didn't think anyone was going to buy it, honestly.
And so it's hard to pitch through that.
It is.
It's hard to keep going. Like, how do you shift your energy? Because you can be in your head and now the vibe is like, all right, and so what we're going to do here is, y'all, drop a 1 if you with me.
Drop some fire emojis.
You know, you got 20 people on. Only 3 of them are participating in the chat.
3.
This is a dead room right here, all right?
They don't even got the cameras on.
Oh, my God. Yeah. 1 person out of 20 got their camera on. Why would y'all set her up like that? Why do y'all understand how hard it is to pitch to a freaking camera? At least you can turn your cameras on. Jesus.
So I'm in my head like, this is, even before I was going back and forth, should I make it 5K? I wanted to drop the price. I knew the value was there. But I was just like, you know, nobody's really going to book this thing. So I just pushed through. Like, I acted like all was well. And
so you gave it your all.
I gave it my all.
You spoke like there were 2,000 people.
I sure did.
Okay,
I was excited.
Right.
I was, you know, doing all the things.
And this was a 1-day Zoom?
It was, for the actual offer, it was a 1-day Zoom. It was like, I was there for probably like 90 minutes. So they specifically came to hear the offer.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I went through the offer, what it included, blah, blah, blah. And I had the first person who joined, she actually paid for it twice on accident. Her name is Tico. She paid for it in full and then she paid for it again. So I'm looking I had Stripe. I was looking at him like, so I mentioned, I'm like, oh, congratulations, Tico. You know, you joined, but I see you joined twice. And she was like, I got too excited. I feel like that helped the sale.
I got too excited.
I bought it twice.
$10,000, right?
Yeah, she dropped 20K. I said, okay.
Couldn't have been American Express. They'd have been like, Donnie, something ain't right here.
Something ain't right.
Okay, so I want to be so excited and so able that I can just quickly, in excitement, spend $2,000 twice. Yeah. Okay. So
I learned a lesson, though. When you're, like, pitching, it's good to leverage everyone who's already joined. They're like, I feel like because everyone who's kind of like thinking about it, they're on the edge. People are honestly like natural like followers. We like to see that other people value what we're thinking about investing in. So honestly, when because I saw it on the stripe, when she said like because I told her unmute, like, I see you booked it twice. What made you book it? So she's going on telling her full story. She said, oh my God, I'm too excited. Literally as she's talking, like 3 back-to-backs. I'm like, And that's something that I wasn't doing on my webinars. I wasn't leveraging who just joined. Like, give them a mic. Hey, why'd you
join? What made you say yes? Yeah.
And then I was talking to her about like, how do you feel? Because everyone else is scared. Like, this is a big investment. So, people were joining. Some people joined after the Zoom. They need to think about it. I told them at midnight it's done, and that was that. The next day I had a good problem. People were like, it's not fair. So I ended up taking 5 more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was 2023.
Correct.
We're past that now.
Yes.
So that could have been a fluke.
Right.
Was it?
It was not.
So you mean you created a duplicatable process
Absolutely.
in which you are getting the results
Absolutely
multiple times? Okay. So you've done it again. And are you using a challenge model or?
No challenge. Literally, to set it up, I'll do like a 2-day intensive in the community to give them like, so that they know, like, I know what I'm talking about. I can teach. So I teach them a lot during those 2 days. And then at the end, I don't even pitch. Like, I just tell them, I'm going to pitch tomorrow. Come join me. Join this link. So it's kind of like a soft, like, subtle pitch, because I don't want you to feel like I brought you in these 2 days so I could get you at the end. So I say, there's people who want to know more, who want to learn more. So tomorrow I'm going to be doing a small overview call, like 60 minutes. If you want to see the next program that we're launching, I'm very excited about it. Join this chat. So I kind of have like a wait list chat.
Were those 2 days free?
Yes, free for the community.
Isn't it fair that if you are taking 2 days of your life to train people for free, isn't it fair that at the end you are here to pitch something?
It is
like
fair.
I'm giving you.
It actually is fair.
You struggle with that, right? And I hear it all the time. I even hear it from the attendee. Oh, I knew there was going to be something at the end. Well, you better know it, because you also knew there was going to be something over these 2 days that you could take note on and put into action.
I like that perspective.
Isn't it fair that if I literally just poured into you for 2 days and you've got pages of notes that I tell you about what you can do to work with, to pour back into me?
I agree.
Like,
I need to look at it better, because honestly, the thought of pitching, as a nurse, we don't pitch nothing, girl. It's like, these patients are here, the ED's backed up, whether you take these meds or not, like, we get paid by the hour. So I've never had to, the most I would do for pitching is like, okay, Mr. Smith, like, this med is going to be good for you, but we don't pitch. So that whole thing, and I think this goes for a lot of like medical professionals, like selling, pitching, cringe, like, what? So I think it's something that I'm actually still working on, because it's like, girl, you could have just pitched because you had all those people there. I'm not delaying it.
I'm not asking for permission. If I have spent this time with you to give you information that can literally change your situation,
you're right,
change your life, I am proudly going to pitch. Here's the thing. You have to have a mindset shift, in not that I'm about to pitch, but they deserve to hear how I can help them better,
right, on
a bigger level. Like, yeah, of course I'm gonna pitch. You deserve this. So what I got to offer, you deserve this, and you want to hear this. So make sure you're here for this.
I like that.
Just kind of out of the gate, and I tell people at the beginning, very much like you in the beginning. Look, I'm about to give y'all all this game. Everything you saw on that site where you registered, I'm doing all of that.
Right.
But be clear, it gets bigger and it gets better, and we'll talk about that later. But just know that you take all this information in case you don't get to do anything later.
Right.
But you're going to hear an offer from me later.
I like that.
That's how we build our business. It really I find it very interesting. People who say, oh, we knew it was going to be a sale at the end, right? How do you expect that we live our lives?
Yeah.
No, like, how do you expect that I pay my bills? You want me to just help you, put you in position to make a ton of money, and I'm supposed to stay broke? And let me tell you why I feel so strongly about that. Because I helped put a lot of people in position, and I stayed broke. I remember when I first got started in this space of like, digital entrepreneuring and teaching classes digitally, and people will show up for free, but the moment you put a class out there, suddenly you're the bad guy, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, out of the kindness of my heart, I'm gonna do another class for free, and hopefully you'll buy my $25 course. It's just $25, right?
Yeah.
And then you let people get into your mind by saying like, I knew there was a catch. You know what the catch is? Do you know what the catch is, you ungrateful person? The catch is that you end up being successful.
Right.
The catch is that you end up learning something.
Execute.
The catch is that you actually have to do some work, right? But me telling you how now I can help you further but charge you for it, that's not the catch. That's business.
I love that.
Yeah, that's not the catch. That's simply just doing business, and you deserve to run your business.
You're right.
Don't let them people bully you.
Yeah.
Don't let scared of what? The money? Absolutely not.
Yeah. And I think also, like, I was sitting with myself because a big thing about entrepreneurship is that you have to be self-aware. And I was like, why do I only feel comfortable pitching to the community? I think there is like a level of comfort. Like, they already know me. Some of them, I've been on YouTube for 4 years. So they've grown with me, my travel nursing journey, my entrepreneurship journey. So it's like I go in knowing that this is an easier crowd. Because I do know I need to run like a 3-day summit, whatever they calling it these days.
Yeah.
But I'm like, ooh, the public.
Yeah.
I want to like bring them in first. So I definitely need to shift that mindset because what I have is really good. And I feel like I'm just in that comfort of like community, everything.
And I also love how you're strategizing, kind of projecting where you need to be going next in business. Now, girl, I don't really want to talk a whole lot about life insurance on this episode because I think what you're doing with nursing deserves its own shine.
I love it.
But I do also know that you've started a life insurance business.
Correct.
So we don't need to, y'all know that we've been talking about life insurance. All right. We got some episodes. Just go back, just type in full transparency life insurance. You'll find a couple of dope people who are experts in that area, as well as you too, Lois. But what you're doing with the nurses and the community, there's some unique value there.
For sure.
But what I want to know as it relates to your life insurance business is why you felt it necessary to start that business.
That's such a good question. So life insurance for me, I never wanted to get in it, honestly. It just never sounded like it gave. I feel like when you hear real estate, it's cute. Like when I hear life insurance agent, and I've been running from it. Somebody actually tried to recruit me before I was a nurse. So long story short, I wanted something that would give me the flexibility to work remotely because there are leads you can call, you can do senior centers, which is where like the elderly are. And so that's kind of the approach I use as a nurse. I'm already used to like the seniors. So instead of, hey, Donnie, you got a policy? Like instead of doing that route, I just go to where my target audience is. Life insurance is honestly, it's a lot like digital products or any other business. So where are my people? Right? If I'm trying to get somebody to do a final expense policy, or not trying to get them to do it, but offer them that, people in their 20s, they're not worried about burial, cremation. So I just go where my people are. They're at these retirement homes. And honestly, as a nurse, it felt kind of like the same thing, just educating them in a different light. And nurses, life insurance works for them, or healthcare workers in general, because even though it's entrepreneurship, there's some type of structure. Like you can buy leads and like call clients. So a lot of nurses or healthcare workers, we don't sell anything. There's a script. So if you can read a script, you can sell this policy. So it's a more like structured way of like business versus like how we just out here, making offers. It's more structured. So that's how
I thought you were going to say?
I
thought you were going to say something like, and I was hoping she was going to say this. I thought you were going to say, well, all my years experience as a nurse, I saw so many people die and they couldn't take care of their final expenses or fighting illnesses that they couldn't afford.
Right. Which is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's not really why just being fully transparent.
For sure.
It was just like, honestly, when I got in it, it was just like, I'll just try it. Like, y'all been trying to get me to get this license. Everyone says it works. Let me just check it out. It was nothing. Passion didn't really like drive my entrance in it. But when I got in, I'm like, this is literally just like nursing. It's just we're on the back end. So before you get to the hospital, before you get that cancer diagnosis, you have a policy with living benefits to where you don't have to die for this policy to be in effect.
Yep.
So it's like nursing is just we help the patient before they get to the hospital.
Are all of y'all in y'all's 20s? Anybody in here got a job? Why y'all don't want to work? I did work. Oh my God. At one point in my life, I actually had to do some labor. What do you mean a W-2? Y'all are going to cut. It takes me 2 weeks to get paid around here, Sal. It's crazy.
It's insane.
It's unthinkable, unimaginable that it would, like, you would just pre-work and then get paid later.
Crazy.
That's not a vibe?
No.
That's not it? Have you ever had a job?
Before I was a nurse, I was working
yeah, a nurse is a job, but y'all are different. Y'all are in
We're different.
It's not really a job. Like, you're not going to go somewhere where you're working 9 to 5 every single day.
Right.
I feel like nursing is the path that people chose, one, because they either had like a deep passion for it, or you like the flexibility that you get of working a shift on and a shift off.
Yeah.
So is it really a job? You know what I mean? Like, why don't your friends want to do any work?
We do want to work, but girl, nursing is hard.
Because look, you know what's hard?
What's hard?
Being a CEO, looking for employees, trying to find somebody, and everybody who applies to work with me. Yeah, but I need some people right here, right? Everybody who applies to work with me has an agency. I'm like, if one more resume tell me about a freaking agency, I am going to I'm looking for a personal assistant. Oh, I have an agency that works with high level entrepreneurs. Girl, I need you at my house every day, ready to work with no other clients.
Right.
Tell me what you think this is about, because in large numbers, just your age group, nobody, well, I won't say nobody, that's speaking in an absolute, but very infrequently do I come across people who have a passion in corporate anymore. Everybody wants to be a boss.
I think, honestly, COVID really put things in perspective for people. You know, a lot of people got to work remotely, so they got to enjoy, you know, meetings in their PJs, the flexibility. And a lot of people, they got laid off. So it's just like, oh, this 9 to 5 life is not really secure. Now, granted, I don't think everyone should be an entrepreneur because it's ghetto. Like, it's definitely, for me at least, like certain moments, it's just like, I've had moments where I wanted to go pick up a shift. It's just easier, you know, and as a nurse, we make 6 figures if you're doing it right. So it's just like the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. When you have a stable job, I don't advise people like go run and go be an entrepreneur. You have to really, really have a heart of serving and helping people. People are trying to run a play with business right now.
And I think that's what I'm getting at. So I applaud. I remember when I owned a clothing store, and I was hiring employees, right? And when I would interview them, I would want to hear that they were ambitious. And I would say, because I am only looking for people who are looking to grow up the ladder. And then one day you want your own store, or you help partner in this one. And, you know, and that didn't even really work for real. What concerns me right now are the number of people under the age of 30 who just refuse to get a job. They don't really have a thriving business.
They don't.
Or a business at all. But you just won't work.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there has to be something going on. I was just telling my daughter is 22 years old.
Okay.
And I was just telling her the other day to look at Twitch.
I don't know what that is.
It's the streaming platform. Isn't that what Kai Cenat is on? So, you know Kai Cenat, who the gamer? Okay, so there's all these games. My daughter likes to play video games. Okay. And this is something she developed as an adult. I didn't even know, you know, that she really, I'm calling her on the phone one day and she's like, Mommy, I'm in the middle of a game. I'm like, girl, calm down, right? So I called her the other day and I'm like, okay, this game stuff, are you like any good at it? And she's like, yeah, they compete and apparently you can stream in with other players. And I'm like, get on Twitch. And she's like, I didn't think about it. I'm like, give it some thought today, get on it tomorrow. Because the climate that we're in right now, everybody, but especially your age group, has so much opportunity to just build something
for sure.
So big.
Yeah.
And it's about taking advantage of these platforms that are allowing it, which brings me back to like, what are you doing to stay fresh in the industry? You mentioned that like you were shocked that people who were in their 40s want to actually learn from you. And I'll tell you why. Because the older and older you get, we have to stay connected to what's happening, what's trending, what's cool, right? It's like the baby boomers, like who refused to adapt to email when the internet came out. I'm not going to the www. I'm going to the library. Right. I'm not Google. What is the Google? I'm not doing that. I'm going to get the encyclopedia. And then as time went on, the world literally became internet dependent. Right. What are you doing, or what are some things that we should be tapped into that maybe those 40-year-olds and older aren't thinking about when it comes to building business?
For sure. Definitely AI.
Okay.
And I feel like even when AI popped up, I was just like, okay, I know my little chat GPT, but there are so many resources that AI has. So definitely staying updated with that. Also, don't be afraid to, I think this goes for all business owners, like don't be afraid to hire somebody who's better than you in an area. So like for me, like I'm not as in the game with travel nursing. Like I'm tired of, being up and down the USA, but I have a nurse admin who that's her life. She's travel nursing. So I think also for anybody who's building a business, like don't be too proud to like, hey, you might be better at this than me. Let me bring you in as a partner, right, into the company so that we can all stay up to date. So I don't have to do strikes every day to know what's going on, because in the community, we have like 5 nurse admins. So if I don't know something, girl, you could teach the class. I'm not trying to teach a class either every week regardless. So just staying in the know. And then if you can't stay in the know, make sure you connect yourself. It's not always what you know. Just like hire the who, and then, you'll be on top of things.
Y'all still like Snapchatting and
I use it for the
what
filter.
Is it? Tweeting. What is it? Twitter is X now.
X, yeah.
Okay, I had a Twitter page. I could never really get with that particular platform. But your top 3 favorite platforms to use to build your business?
For sure, Instagram.
Okay.
YouTube, and I'm just now trying to like dabble into TikTok.
First of all, how do you use it? I don't know how to.
It's too complicated.
I don't know how to tick or talk. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know how to do it. I go into the app. They're making insane amount of money. And my mom, you know what's crazy?
What?
My mom is addicted to TikTok. That lady sends me a TikTok every day, and she actually just asked me to help her open her own little TikTok shop, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm like, how do you know? You either have to be like 60 and older or 30 and younger. Us in the middle, like 40 and 50, we don't know what's going on TikTok.
It's too much to work it, but honestly, TikTok is one of the fastest growing platforms. Like that's something that one video, I feel like Instagram, it's a little bit harder to, if you didn't already have like a following that you've grown, now it's a little bit with the algorithm, it's a little bit harder to like actually gain followers. But I feel like TikTok is very big on like storytelling. So like they want you to come and talk on there. Whereas Instagram is more real, highlight reel. TikTok is more raw.
The mistake I made with TikTok.
What?
I stayed like I started a TikTok page, and then as soon as they started talking about they were gonna ban TikTok, I was like, oh, it's definitely gonna happen. I'm not about to build this out just for it to shut down. When you really just have to take advantage of what's working at that time.
For sure.
If we could have done these 3 years really well on TikTok, and then it shut down year 4, would those 3 years have been worth it?
Absolutely.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
And entrepreneurs are selling on their TikTok shop. I thought it was just like lip glosses and people selling bundles, and people are selling ebooks and their digital products on there. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, first of all, let me upload my ebook.
Yeah.
For real.
They're literally running sales, and TikTok, the setup of it is catered to you, especially with TikTok Shop, which is fairly new. Like, I thought it was not like an entrepreneurship playground, but the entrepreneur, I just logged in, somebody was selling ebooks, courses, and it was going. And in TikTok, when you're selling, it shows that, oh, this person just bought. So that thing that you have to create manually on a webinar, like, oh, this person just tapped in. Like, it's doing that for you.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Do
people
you have to have followers?
You do. Yeah. I don't know the exact limit, but you do have to have a certain amount of followers.
Oh, to be able to qualify to have a TikTok
Correct.
shop. Let me get to building TikTok.
You can build it.
I could. I just don't.
How many followers do you have?
No idea.
Really?
None, hardly. Like maybe 500. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't post anything that you see posted on TikTok. My assistant probably did.
Yeah.
And we probably haven't posted more than 10 things
Yeah.
on TikTok, but I'm about to engage.
For
okay,
sure.
so let me just write that down because Lois told me to get on TikTok.
You have
too.
to. I'm still learning. Like, I probably got like 200 people, but I'm seeing what's going on. It's like people are selling ebooks and courses. And Donnie, I know you have some courses that you ain't even promoted in so long.
I don't promote any of those things. Let's see, because it's kind of like if you know, you know. I'm so focused on my community.
Right.
Okay, so every episode, I try to take something from it that's going to make me better as an entrepreneur or as a woman just in general. And so I've got a nugget that was confirmation, letting my mentees teach inside the community. And then I'm going to actually start posting on TikTok.
For sure.
Like, yep, I'm going to do it.
And you're going to do the trip in March.
Yeah, I am doing the trip in March. And so I'm excited about all those things.
Yeah.
Tell me, as a 28-year-old woman. 27? I thought
Don't
you told me
age
you were
me.
28.
Don't age me now.
I thought you told me you were 28.
No.
Okay, so as a 27-year-old woman, Bill, are you a 7-figure entrepreneur, high level 6?
Last year we made 7.
Last year you made 7 figures, and I love the honesty there. Last year we made.
This year is less.
This year's different, you guys.
This year's
Put the
different.
camera on me real quick. This year is different.
Yeah.
This year you're really having to show what you're made of.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
I think this year digitally is harder because everyone's teaching and coaching. So I feel like you have to work a little bit harder to gain the trust. And also this year, honestly, I've been more focused in life insurance. So I think honestly, last year was just too good. I wanted to chill a little bit. Like, I'm like, I don't have to go that hard. Like, why do I have to do it again?
Because when you have momentum, the
That's
best
true.
thing to do is to keep your foot on next.
That's true.
Trust me, because I felt the same exact way. 2020, crazy. 2021, insane. All right, like, is this happening? Is this my life? 2020, 2022, credit card roulette. Waitress, the bill is $4,000. Just pick one. Pick a credit card and we got it, right? I don't love that for me, right? Because what was I thinking? How was I doing that activity and having the audacity to say, I'm going to take a little break closer to the end of 2022 and 2023. When you intentionally give away that momentum, the work that you have to do to build that momentum back up is almost like starting over. That's my advice. Write that down. That's like my advice to you.
It's dead.
I'm just playing.
Write down for me.
But remember that. Take a note. Somebody write that down for her. The work that you have to do to regain that
That's
momentum
true.
is almost like starting all over from scratch.
I agree.
But here's what I want to know. In your 20s, I'm just thinking about where I was in my 20s. And I wasn't building a 7-figure business in my 20s. I was hanging out. I was a mom. I was working in property management. At your age, I was also a real estate agent. I was definitely spending my fair share of time in the streets. If you know, you know. Y'all keep your mouth quiet, all right? But we were in those streets. Okay. I was brunching. I was the brokest thing ever, but had all the availability in the world. Like, oh, it's brunch. I don't know how we're gonna pay for it, but we will.
But I'm there.
But I'm there. Tell me what that's like for you at your age, building a high-level business. Do you feel like you're missing out on being 20-something?
I do. I really do. I always tell my friends, I feel like I'm the boring one because I'm in a lot of rooms with high-level entrepreneurs, like the 7-figure, 8-figure earners. And sometimes, Ronnie, I just want to go to a club. Like, I just want to, get on the table. But it's just like, what if somebody see me?
On the table, you say? Yeah. So when you say on the table, like
like my 21st birthday, it was really lit. Like we were at a club. I found myself on stage, and I lived in New Orleans for a year actually.
Okay.
So bourbon
on stage on Bourbon Street is crazy. All right,
singing, karaoke,
highly risky.
Everything. It was lit, and I just feel like, dang, I kind of like boss too hard.
But do you feel like if you were doing those things regularly, you wouldn't be the entrepreneur that you are today?
Yeah, I definitely would not be the entrepreneur I am today.
So you don't feel like there can be a balance of party girl and businesswoman?
I try to create it, but I think balance is just not a thing. Now, granted, if I'm out of town, you know,
That's
nobody
different.
know me out. Yeah, it's different.
Yeah. So you're concerned about people seeing you.
Yes and no.
Free yourself, girl. Free yourself.
But Donnie, if we walk in the club and Donnie is,
you will see it.
we will
Proud.
see. We will see.
Bow. What?
Yeah.
Twerking with my tongue hanging out my mouth,
Really?
proudly, because I work
that.
hard to be who I am, and I dare anybody to put me in a box or make me feel like I have to put myself in a prison to not live who I want. Like, look.
She got serious.
I'm gonna tell you how many of those I don't have for people who are prepared to judge me, because 9 times out of 10 we are being judged by living. If we're living our lives and we're doing things and we're not acting crazy, we're just dancing.
Right.
I was born in New Orleans, Louisiana, and raised in College Park, Georgia. The twerker in me is gonna. I'm gonna be twerking in my casket. You hear me? Like, I want y'all twerking around my casket. This is just the culture that I grew up in. We weren't two-stepping. I mean, our two-step looked a little different, right? It was a two-step, but it was on the ground too, right? I was the girl who grew up. Like, there were these dances. We had like Kilo Ali and Raheem the Dream. And I'm literally, there's all of us dancing in the club, and somebody's twerking. It's 2 of us twerking. It's going to be one person down here in the middle in a split, like, hey, with a split. And then it's going to be somebody on the wall upside down in a handstand. I am not far removed from her. Now, I just can't be upside down in a handstand right now anymore. But no, I'm going to go out and have a good time. Now, what I am careful of, though, I don't go out, like, I can't go out and be drunk, right? So I don't do a lot of drinking in public. You're never going to see me stumbling out of a building.
Okay.
And then I am also careful of conversations, like the conversations that I could be overheard having because of the rooms that I'm in. I could have conversations that are more damaging than any amount of twerking that I can do. But twerking is like a spiritual release.
Agreed.
For sure. I mean, it's not inappropriate. This is a spiritual practice, right? We twerk to fill ourselves back up.
That freed me, because I guess in my head I'm just like, because even like last month when we went to Cartagena, like, I want to go crazy, but it's like, I'm these people's mentor.
Okay, hold on. I didn't say go crazy. I give you something and you want to go all the way there. I did not say go crazy. I said there's nothing wrong with a little twerk.
A little twerk.
So going crazy would be, and I know I'm about to offend you. No, I'm just playing. Going crazy would be in these little see-through outfits that y'all like to wear with the thongs on. Why y'all gotta show y'all ass everywhere? First of all, how you even comfortable sitting down? How are you even like, I'm so afraid of if my fabrics are too thin, I'm so scared of what I'm absorbing in my crevices. You couldn't pay me to be somewhere butt naked with a sheer dress on. But going crazy would be doing that same twerk with a thong on and something like that you call an outfit.
Yeah.
That's going crazy.
Yeah.
Right? Bent over and they can see all in between.
Yeah.
That's going crazy. But you dressed real cute, and you do a little light twerk.
Yeah, light twerk.
You don't get drunk with your mentees.
Definitely
ever.
not.
You don't ever get that comfortable. But I remember having a mentor, Lois. And this was my first mentor that I had direct access to. I can touch you, learn from you, call you. Everybody else before that was like YouTube.
Yep.
And I remember how censored he was in public, right? He never cursed, which, whatever. And I kind of think that's okay, because cursing is really so unclassy. Sorry, you guys.
Agreed.
He never cursed in public. He also would never have a cocktail in public.
Not
a cocktail. And I would say, like, why you drink?
So
like
drink.
When you're at your home, you're having a drink. And he said that he felt like people would judge him so harshly because he was a personal development mindset coach. And what does it look like for somebody who's masterful at mindset having a cocktail, right? And those words stuck with me for so long. And so for so long, it was like, okay, if I'm going to have something, just have a glass of wine. Bet not ever let anybody see you taking a shot of anything because, oh my God, you got to be perfect to be a coach. And then years later now, several years later, now you see him. He is probably still one of the wealthiest men that I know in real life. His businesses, everything he's touched has thrived. But these things, the real power in him really started to develop when he became himself. Now you can see him have a cocktail. You'll never see him drunk. You may not even see him finish the cocktail, but he's doing the things that generally are him. And I'm not advocating for somebody to go start drinking if this is not your thing. What I am saying is, while you're building all this success for yourself, don't build a prison around yourself either.
I love that. That's so good.
Don't build a prison around yourself. So we got to be careful. You know, the boys got to sign NDAs.
Got to.
The boys got to sign NDAs.
I just introduced NDAs this year.
Okay. Yeah.
So glad.
Be consistent with that. I've let an NDA or two slide. A friend of mine put me on to signing NDAs, and the freedom that you get when you date under discreetly. You know what I mean? Discreetly. So yeah.
Let me ask you a question. At what stage did you know? Because like you're a big deal. So like how many years ago, like, because to hit a man with an NDA is crazy.
Just two. Yeah, just two. Okay. And even before but I also was I'm a relationship person. So over the last 12 years, you know, I've been in relationships. Then I'm there until I'm not. And then we got to go back. And I'm very, very discreet. Like people are always wondering what's going on.
Yeah. People
behind my closed doors. And I'm like, I understand why you want to know, though. You know what I mean? No, people are always wondering what's going on, but I date very discreetly until I don't. Once I don't care about the discretion anymore, then, you know, I'm not trying not to be seen in places and, you know, all these things. And what I have learned about being comfortable with like dating with an NDA and things like that is the type of man that I date, they appreciate that because they're also dating with discretion.
I love that.
And discretion doesn't mean secret. Discretion just means that until you need to know, nobody needs to know.
Got you.
Right.
So how does that look like? Like, let's say you're at a conference and I'm assuming they're in the same like space as you. Does that look like a little hug, a little?
No, we can be in the same space.
Okay.
But what that really does is protects you. So, you know, when someone works from home, let's say you were married.
Okay.
And you worked from home and you're discussing a nurse's salary with her, and maybe she's on the phone and she is crying to you about what happened on a contract, and your husband is in the bedroom, you know, he's just handling his business, but he overheard something that's really confidential. When you're working from home, my clients can't clear my house, right? So if I have company, I have company. I usually tell people, you know, but if I have company, I have company, but you may hear something that's private. The NDA is really more for protecting my friends and my loved ones, right? You can't really be out here telling my business,
right?
Stuff like that. It's not so that you can never be seen with me in public. I'm okay with that. Yeah. Like, you want to be seen with me in public, baby. Trust me. You heard her. She said it.
Trust.
I'm a big deal.
You are. No, you really are.
I'm joking, but no. So yeah, it's not to not be in public, but I am also up until certain points, I'm also cautious about where I am in public, just because I'm private. I'm just naturally private, not because I'm trying to hide you from the world. I'm trying to hide the world from you.
Shout out to Drake.
No, but yeah. So how is dating for you at this age? Like, are you finding that you're meeting a lot of qualified men?
That's a great question. I feel like dating for me now, my standards are they were never low. Like, I grew up with my parents. I grew up in a loving home. They got divorced when I was 18. So by the time they got a divorce, I was older, but I grew up with that like structure. And so my standards have always been high, or like, you know, you got to do flowers. I want date night. But I
got to?
Yeah.
Got to. How often do they have to do flowers?
Maybe bi-weekly.
So if they're not with it,
flowers could be like $15. You don't got, it could be like Publix flowers.
Yeah, but who's getting out the car to go grab you some flowers?
They're not the one for me.
Okay, so flowers,
date,
bi-weekly.
Yeah,
date night, weekly.
Maybe weekly.
More than weekly?
At least once a week.
Okay, at least once a
Yeah.
week. Okay, physically, any preferences?
Physically, gotta be good looking. So I'm still like, I feel like a lot of women say now it's like a money era. Like, he gotta make this. I don't, just because I made 7, like, you don't have to make 7 figures.
Can they make 5
figures?
We can talk about
I was genuinely
She
confused.
said 5. What's that?
60,000.
Because she said, baby, even as just a nurse, I didn't. What's that?
I was
5
genuinely
is
confused.
under. She said I was genuinely confused. She over here about to lose her stuff. Yo,
lost me on
okay,
that
that
one.
was a cute response.
At least 6
So they have to make at least 6
for
figures
sure.
Okay,
In this economy, yes.
in this
Because
economy,
I want to travel. Like, it's not even necessarily about you just being this.
What
rich
age
guy.
group?
See, Donnie, I usually date guys in the 20s, but I feel like I have to be open to the 30s. I don't know about 40 though,
Okay,
because the guys in their 20s is just the games be, and I'm not with that. So I've always liked like a 28, 29, but I know I have to like be open to like the 35s.
Okay, hold on. I'm just running a number real quick. Okay, so they gotta make at least 6 figures. How tall can they be?
I'm 5'2", so maybe like 5'9".
Okay, so okay, according to the Census Bureau reports, only about only
I
about
hate this part.
18% of men ages 25 to 34 earn over $100,000 a year.
Which is fine. I feel like I'm only looking for one.
Do you date black men only, or does
Black
it matter?
men only.
Okay, hold on.
Gotta have some black in them.
Okay.
I dated somebody who was mixed. So.
Black men, let's do that. Okay. According to that same available data, only about 6%. This says only about 6% of black adults
Wow.
earn $100,000 or more annually, which would be a little less, obviously, for men. So, yes, you only need one, right?
Mm-hmm.
But out of every 100 men that you meet, only 6 of them meet just the financial qualification.
Right.
Okay, so first of all, I'm assuming that you date men.
100%.
Okay.
No disrespect to those who.
Right. So I just want to have the conversation right. So if 6 out of every 100 men financially make the cut, then we got to consider who's not into women. So let's just say 2 of them, 2 out of every 6 aren't into women. We're down to 4 men, right?
Right.
We're down to 4 men. Let's then talk about the guys who don't date black girls. It's a very real thing. Let's take 2 of them out. So we're fighting for the same 2 dudes.
I'm not fighting.
Well,
They fighting for me.
Yeah, I'm not sure they are. I'm not sure they are. Are y'all on the same page? Like, is that what you're looking for too? So,
They're like, I'm just here.
Looking for us.
okay, we'll give you a pass. All right, but the max is still working. All right, that 6% still included your vibe. So the 3 of y'all are out together. Y'all looking for the same 2 guys. We're already mathematically improper.
Yeah. You know, when I hear those numbers, Donnie, it honestly doesn't do anything to me.
I love that.
I'm just looking for the one.
Because it doesn't do anything for me either. When people say, oh my God, women over 40 won't get X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, wow, that's so interesting because I'm a woman over 40 who gets all the X, Y's, and Z's that you say we can't get, right?
Right.
And there really are options. And in my experience in dating has always been really great. Like, even if things don't work out, my experiences in dating have always been really great.
Same.
I just really am interested in, because it's supposed to be when we're talking about dating and people are placing those stereotypes out in those stats, it's always women over age 40. And I'm like, no, I got some 30-year-old friends who think it. And now I'm asking in the 20-year-old age group, and it seems to be the same thing.
Yeah, for
what
sure.
you want.
Yeah. And I just feel like it's like the life I want to live. I want to like travel. I want like I be moving. Like I live in LA, but I'm in LA this month. I'm gonna be here 3 times. So I need you to be able to like get up. You don't necessarily. He doesn't have to be an entrepreneur, but you need to have some like flexibility.
Can he be a travel nurse? Can he be a nurse? Yo, did you see the episode that I just dropped with Ace Metaphor?
I saw the clips. He used to
Okay.
be a nurse.
Ace was a nurse.
Which
And
is crazy.
He said everybody in the hospital smashing.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Not. He's a male nurse, so I can see that that's like his reality. If he is like decent looking. There's not a lot of male nurses in nursing, so I can probably see how like that happens to him. I can't relate. I've never like dealt with anybody in healthcare.
In the hospitals that you've worked at, are there actual relationships? I was baffled.
For sure.
Like,
Yeah,
like
100%.
relationships that shouldn't be happening.
Oh, 100%.
Okay,
With
so the moral of the last
doctors,
couple of episodes is don't date a nurse.
a male nurse.
Don't date a medical professional at all because
No,
the
we're
rumors
great.
are true.
No, we're great.
Whatever Drake said, he was spot on.
No,
all right.
we're great.
I'm sure you are.
A few of us.
Yeah. You're great at saving lives.
We are.
Meanwhile, ripping the heart out of your spouse at home who thinks you're out there risking it all to save lives.
I can't relate.
Jesus Christ. Lois, it's been a pleasure.
This was so fun.
It has been an absolute pleasure to talk to you. I could talk to you another 20, 30 minutes, but we got to wrap it up.
gotta go.
Because people now want to. I have a question. Do you still in your community, obviously you have the community for your nurses, but do you actually teach people how to build community?
100%. Yeah. I help a lot of my mentees who want to get into that lane, teach them how to build a community, build out their digital product, online business. So yeah, it's actually one of my favorite things to teach.
Are you teaching it only to your mentees?
Yeah.
Okay. She said, look, it's exclusivity Lois over here. She said nurse Lois, but it's exclusivity
Period.
Lois over here. So it's primarily then for nurses who
Yeah.
are in your community who want to build their own community.
For sure. Once in a while, I'll do like a free webinar. That was more like a last year thing.
Okay.
That's where I lost the momentum. I stopped doing them. But yeah, once in a while, I'll do something for the public.
All right. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys, if you are a medical professional and you are looking to get access to the higher paying jobs or just know what's happening all around the world in your industry, you need to hit up Lois. But also, if you are a nurse and or a medical professional and you are looking to build a community that models what she's already created the blueprint for, also hit up Lois. All of her details will be wherever you are watching this video. You know that I always encourage you to go to somebody's page and do your own due diligence. Make sure it's vibing, right? The energy in her training style matches what you are looking for, and that you see real people who are like, yo, we love her so much. She's done the work and helped me get a result. Lois, if you could close us out, this audience that's watching are a group of entrepreneurs who are looking for the way they're looking to relate to the entrepreneurs that I have that sit on this couch. Like something about your story, something about your journey, something about your resilience, right? If you could close us out with any words to this audience,
Awesome.
I will let you take us out.
I would say just whatever it is that you want to do, even if it's not perfect, you don't got the funnel, you don't got the followers, just start. Like just put the step 1 out there. The step 2 gonna come.
Yeah.
Right. And even if you don't know the step 2, just put it out there to your audience. They will let you know the step 2. So just start, whatever it is.
I love that. Start with the text messages.
Yeah.
And then kick it on up a notch. You guys, this has been another amazing episode of Full Transparency. As usual, leave in the comments for me what stood out most about this conversation today with Lois Twum, and go connect with her. Her energy is everything. She's got her girls in here that are supporting her. That's always a good sign. And I will see you guys on next week's episode. Bye.